Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. Today, we're talking about role play practice and perfecting your craft. This is very important to us, and we're actually going to get a demo by my uncle and grandfather. They're going to walk us through the expired, for sale by owner, just listed, and a internet lead script. You guys just have to sit back and kind of watch. They're going to take us through how this is done and how you can improve what you're practicing. And with that being the case, I'm going to turn it over to them and let the movie stars rock and roll.
Let the movie
Well,
start.
now that you bring that up, let's talk about that. The most successful movie stars that there are in the business, what do they do in order to be able to get the millions of dollars they get paid for each film? They have a script that somebody writes them, and they practice it and practice it and practice it so that they can deliver the script and they can get paid those millions of dollars. Okay. So back in 1999, when my father and I joined the Mike Ferry organization, and I'm going to refer to the Mike Ferry organization on this call, but I'm not trying to push the Mike Ferry organization on anybody, because there's obviously the Brian Buffini system, the Tom Ferry system, there's internet marketing, there's the whole works. But regardless of any of the marketing that you do, there's going to be a point in time where you have to have a conversation with a customer, whether it's over the phone or in person. And you're going to want to know what to say. If you want to improve your business, you might have to tweak what you're saying a little bit. So the Mike Ferry system created a script for agents to use to have a higher closing ratio on their transactions. Now, I will tell you that in 1999, my dad and I were working at Jack On Realtor in the basement, and we had a nice big office down there with no windows, and we had our own little conference room, and a guy named Jim Pedrick was with us. And the three of us, when we first started doing these scripts, got in this conference room and started reading these scripts to each other. And we were like disgusted. We were like, oh my God, I could never say this to a customer. I could never act like this. This isn't me, you know. And we kept saying that. And then our coaches kept telling us, keep practicing, keep role playing, keep using the scripts, use them on your presentations. And when you start to buy into a canned scripted presentation, you start listening to, asking more questions and listening to what the sellers are saying or the buyers are saying, and then you use closing techniques to close them. And believe it or not, it's like magic, it works. And when you start doing that, for us, we went from 40 deals a year to 80 deals a year to 120 deals a year to 150 deals a year to 200 deals a year by using these techniques and using these scripts and memorizing them and internalizing them. And my father and I used to get up every morning. He lived in Highland Park. I lived in New Cumberland. We both would get up at 5:30 and we'd go for a walk, and we'd have headphones on and we'd listen to these scripts with Baroque music in the background until we learned them and memorized them and internalized them. And it really, really made a difference and changed our lives. You can use them, you can choose not to use them. That was the message that I sent out today, is you choose. You choose what you want to do. And for the 27 people that got on the call today, congratulations for choosing to do something. Hopefully we'll have 27 more people that will decide to choose to listen to it after Brooks sends it out. But what we're going to talk about over the next few weeks are some of these scripts, some of the pre-qualifying mechanisms to the appointment, how the listing appointment should progress from the time you get an appointment to the time you pre-qualify them to the time that you give them a pre-marketing package and the time that you show up, and even how you act when you knock on the door. We're going to go through this step by step. There is going to be a break next week where you'll have a call, but unfortunately I won't be there to be involved in it. But Brooks and my dad and Kong will handle it and go over maybe step 2 to this process. But step 1 to this process, what we talked about doing today, is showing you a live role play session. So when we started this process, my dad and I, how many days a week were we doing it? Was it 5 or 3?
5 days a week.
5 days a week. We would go to these seminars and we would meet people. We didn't do it with each other. We did it a few times with each other, but we would go to these seminars and we'd meet people from other parts of the country, and they would be role play partners. So at 8 o'clock every morning, we would call a role play partner, and the call never lasted more than 15 minutes at the most. And they would do a role play, we would do a role play. We talk a little bit about the market conditions in their areas, and we learned a lot about people and how they handled things in other parts of the country. So that's how we role played 5 days a week. You know, if I could get somebody to role play 1 day a week, even with your spouse at home, it's good. 2 days would even be better. So again, the more you learn these scripts, the better your business is going to become. Now, with that being said, the first one that we're going to go over today is the for sale by owner script. If you were to get on the Mike Ferry website, over the years since 1999, he's had about 4 different scripts. Today, I'm going to email out to you, everybody, a copy of the script that we like the best out of the Mike Ferry. And it takes out all the crap out of the script, and it's more direct to the for sale by owner. And what we're going to do today, and we can show you this today, and maybe on another call we can show you where it's a little more challenging, is we're going to go through the script. My dad will answer the questions and we'll close for an appointment. But sometimes when you do it, it's not that easy. A lot of times when you do it, it's not that easy. And a lot of people don't like to call for sale by owners because they're not very nice. But if you can get yourself immune to what they say back to you, and you don't let it bother you, and you treat it as a game, for us, 17 to 18% of our business over the years came from calling for sale by owners. You know, so it just, if you're getting most of your business through past clients and centers of influence and internet marketing, could you imagine adding 17% more to your bottom line, you know, through these calling for sale by owners? We send them to you every day. Every single person. If you're not getting it, you need to call Aaron and get on that list. But we're sending you names and numbers of people that want to sell their home. So if you're going to go fishing, fish where the fish are, fish in that pond. These people want to sell their home, and most likely they're not going to be successful at it. And most likely they're not going to want a realtor right away, but at some point they will. And what you're going to find is that a lot of times, and it's funny, my dad had this thing, and I used to look at him and yell at him, not yell at him, but make fun of him. But he would be so nice to these people. We would get these listings, you know, and some of these for sale by owners were like, oh, I sold my house, it's gone. And the average agent that was doing the Mike Ferry system in our area would scratch them off the list and never call them back. But my dad and I would call them back 30 days later, because my dad would always offer them what we call free help. Okay. And we had a secretary that worked with us. Her name was Charisse. And she would like look at my dad and say, why are you always offering these people free help? Well, guess what? Their deal never went together. Nobody called them back. We called them back and said, hey, how's your deal going? Is there anything we could do to help you get it to the settlement table? We offered free help. And guess what? They appreciated that. And when they were ready to give up, they called us. They called us. I mean, we talked to a guy at the Mike Ferry organization that was doing over 100 for sale by owners a year. And he said he didn't get them on the first call. Sometimes it took 8, 10, 12 calls to these people before he landed them, because everybody wants to give up. So we're gonna do the Mike, enough of me talking, we're gonna do the first script, which is the for sale by owner script, and we're gonna go through it. And at the end, if my dad wants to be a little difficult, he can, and if not, he can just close and we'll go on to the next one.
The rule of role play, though, is if you're going to do it with somebody in your office, they let them always win. The degree of difficulty will come with the more practice that you make, and you can get better at answering their objections, but always let them win. We want to have this, everything on a positive note. Building your confidence so that you know that when you make this call, you got a daggone good chance of making it work for you.
And if you get one of those sellers that you would never want to work with in your life, throw it away, because you're not attached to the
No.
outcome, and call the next one.
Not that important.
Okay, so we're gonna do a ring ring.
Hello,
Hi, is this Gene?
this is Gene.
Hi, Gene, it's Tim Costello with Remax.
Oh, no,
Oh, yeah. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. I was wondering when you plan on interviewing agents for the job of selling your home.
I'm not going to interview them. I'm going to sell it myself.
Okay, you're gonna sell it yourself. That's terrific. Let me ask you a question, Gene. Why did you decide to sell this home?
I want to make a lot of money off of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the lack of inventory out there right now, you would really like to capitalize and make a lot of money off the sale of your home, right?
That's true.
Perfect.
Yeah,
So if you sold this home, where will you be moving to next?
I'm going to go to Florida.
You're going to go to Florida. Good for you. That's exciting. When do you plan on being there?
As soon as I get my house sold, I want to be next to my grandkids.
Oh, you want to be next to your grandkids. So really the reason is not only to capitalize on the sale of your home, but you want to get with your grandchildren, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And how long have you owned the home that you've been there on Primrose?
Oh, about 28 years.
You've been there 28 years.
Mhm.
Super. And I saw you were asking 400,000 for your house. How did you determine that sales price?
I checked with a couple of real estate agents and they gave me the price.
Okay, so you actually did check with a few agents?
Yeah, I wasn't happy with what they said.
Oh,
My
okay.
house is worth a lot more than that.
Okay, so you went a little bit higher, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I noticed it that it was advertised on the internet. What other methods are you using for marketing your home?
That's about it. I have a sign in the yard.
Okay, so you have a sign in the yard
Yeah.
and you have the ad on the internet. Okay, perfect. And Gene, again, I saw that you were asking 400,000 for your house. Are you prepared to adjust your price down when working with a buyer?
No way.
No way.
No.
So
no,
there's no flexibility at all in your price?
no,
None?
no, I'm gonna stick with this.
Okay.
You know, I've done a lot of marketing and, you know I can get that figure for it.
Okay. And how long have you been trying to sell it on your own?
Well, it's about 3 months now.
Ooh. So you've been there 3 months and you had any offers?
No,
No. Okay. So let me ask you this. Why did you decide to sell it yourself rather than working with an agent?
400,000 and 6%, that's $24,000.
24,000.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if you were to list, which agent would you list with?
I don't have any in mind.
Okay. None of the ones that you've talked to on the phone so far?
No.
Right. Good. Good. That's a good thing I called then today. So if you were to list, what would you expect the agent to do to sell your home?
Get it sold at my price.
Get it sold at your price. Are you familiar at all with the advanced marketing techniques I use to sell homes?
Haven't the foggiest.
You don't have the foggiest. What would be a good time for me to show you? Monday or Tuesday at 4?
Well, what would the purpose be if I don't want an agent?
Okay, well, I understand that you don't want an agent, but what I heard you say is that one, you're interested in a certain price. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and two, you'd like to capitalize and sell it while the market is good, right?
Yes,
Okay, good. And number three, you really want to get to Florida to be with your grandchildren, right?
that's correct.
You know, Gene, you only get one lap around this world. The sooner you get there to be with your grandkids, the best.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true, yeah. So let me ask you a question, Gene. If I were able to sell your house, net you what you want in your pocket, and I did all the work for you, would that pose a problem for you?
No, not at all.
No? Perfect. What would be the best time for me to come by and show you what I do to get homes sold? How about Monday or Tuesday at 4?
How about Wednesday at 3?
Wednesday at 3, perfect. Sounds good. I'll see you Wednesday at 3.
Great.
That's a for sale by owner script with somebody who's being a little difficult. But yet, if you're able to net them what they want in their pocket and you do all the work for them, why wouldn't they have you come over and do it? Now, you might get into the situation where their number is ridiculous. Or you might find out that when you show them that maybe they wouldn't get 400 for it and they would only get 375 for it, and you show them what their net would be, it might be enough to convince them to move to Florida to be with their grandkids. So what, in this conversation that I just had with Gene, and we didn't practice this at all, we just did it off the cuff. I told him last night we were doing this and he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do it. So what is his motivation? His motivation is a number and to be with his grandkids. So when you go on that appointment, it's important that you get back to what his motivations are. And when you show him what he's going to get, and he would net, let's just say that he would end up netting 350 after the commissions and after the sale price. Gene, is the closing at the listing presentation would be, Gene, is this enough money in your pocket to get you to Florida to be with your grandkids? And notice what I just did there. You shut up. You shut up and you let them answer. Because what's more important to them, the money or being with the kids and the grandkids? So that's a sample of a script. Now, if you were to sit here and say, hi, my name is Tim Cassell, I was wondering, when do you plan on interviewing agents for the job of selling your home? Why'd you decide to sell this home? Where will you be moving to? How soon do you have to be there? How long have you owned this home? How did you determine your sales price? What methods are you using to market your home? Are you prepared to adjust your price down? You change your voice when you do that down. Why did you decide, and we'll go through all this stuff with you. Why did you decide to sell it yourself rather than list with a real estate agent? You might say to yourself, this isn't for me. This isn't the way I do it. But if you noticed, I made it a conversation. I asked the questions. I repeated what he said back to me so that he could tell that I was listening. And I went to the next question. So when you ask, are you interviewing are you interested in interviewing agents for the job of selling your home? And they say never, terrific. Who cares what he says? They don't want you. Remember, they want to sell their home, but that's what we do. We sell homes for a living. So right now, when they say never, terrific. You go to the next question. You don't worry about what they said. They're not insulting you. They want to sell their home. So what, if you brought them a buyer and you netted them what they wanted in their pocket, they wouldn't use you? There are some people that have acted like that, and guess what? You crap the paper up and you throw them away. It's okay. It's okay not to work with everybody, but that's how you do a for sale by owner script.
Remember this, what we're doing is a game of numbers. If you did that presentation 10 times a week and you were only effective 3 times, you'd be at 30%. And if the average commission is $5,000 or $6,000, you're at 15 or 18 grand for the week. Not a bad week of work. Please remember, it's a game of numbers. You don't take it personally. And I don't care whether you're on the phone, in person, or how it is. We need to seek, find, and conquer. And that's what we do when you have a presentation where you're pacing and leading the public. And that's what Tim did excellently on that for sale by owner.
So the next one we're going to do is expired. Kong and Brooks, in the beginning of the year, in the Chambersburg, Harrisburg, York, Lancaster market, how many expireds were there? Somebody brought it up on the last call. Wasn't it over?
Yeah, it had included the Philly area too. But I think there was 284 pages and there was probably anywhere between 2 to 3 per page. So you're looking at about 560 to 700.
So excluding the Philadelphia market, let's just say that that drops down to 200 or 300 for our Chambersburg, Harrisburg, York, Lancaster market area and territory. Those are 300 people that had their homes for sale and they didn't sell. And Dad, when we did expired listings, what percentage? It was higher than the 18%,
About 23%.
23, 24% of our business came from expired listings. These are people that had their home on the market with an agent and it didn't work out. So we're going to try an expired listing presentation now. So ring, ring.
Hello,
Hello, I'm looking for Gene. Is this Gene?
this is Gene.
Hi, Gene. My name is Tim Costello with Remax, and I'm sure you figured out that your home has come up on our computer today as an expired listing.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yep.
about the 10th call.
The 10th caller, 10, well, 10's probably your lucky number. And I was calling to see, when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home?
I thought I had the right agent. I don't know whether I'm gonna interview anymore. I might try to sell it on my own,
Okay, good. So you thought you had the right agent, but you might give it a try on your own, right?
maybe.
Okay, good. So if you sold this home, Gene, where are you planning on moving to next?
I'm going up to Maine.
You're going to go up to Maine.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's exciting. What's taking you to Maine?
I want to fish and hunt for the rest of my life.
You know, Maine is a great area to do some fishing and hunting. Yep, that sounds like a. How soon did you want to be there?
Wanted to be there 6 months ago.
Oh, you wanted to be there 6 months ago and your home didn't sell, right?
Right.
Okay. So Gene, what do you think stopped your home from selling?
It had to be the agent.
The agent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they just didn't get the job done, right?
Right.
How,
Right.
how did you happen to pick the last agent you listed with?
Well, he was recommended by a friend of mine.
Okay, so a friend of yours referred you to an agent, it just didn't work out.
Right.
What did that agent do that you liked best?
He didn't do a damn thing. He didn't get my house sold.
Wow.
It's not really happy about it.
Not really happy, right?
No, not at all.
Just sounds like you had the wrong agent.
I sure did.
And what will you expect from the next agent that you choose, Gene?
I want to go to Maine and hunt. I want him to sell my house.
So you just want him to get the home sold, right?
Absolutely.
And have you already chosen another agent to work with?
Not at this point.
Right, because you weren't sure whether you're going to try to do that you're on your own or go back with another agent, right?
Right.
Gene, I'd like to apply for the job of selling your home. Are you familiar at all with the advanced marketing techniques I use to get homes sold?
How could I be? I just met you today on
Yeah.
the phone.
Exactly, and 10's your lucky number, right? I'm the 10th caller.
Right.
So what would be the best time for me to show you? How about Monday or Tuesday?
Well,
at
wait a
4?
minute. I'm not sure that I'm ready for this because I'm thinking about selling. What are you going to do different than the other guy?
That's exactly like why I'd like to spend 15 to 25 minutes with you to show you what I do to get homes sold. Last year, I sold 100 houses, and I'd like to show you exactly what I did for each one of those sellers so that I can show you I can give you different results than what your last agent did. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Perfect. How about we get together Monday or Tuesday at 4? Which would be better for you?
Let's do Tuesday at 4.
Tuesday at 4? Fantastic. See you Tuesday at 4.
Great. And what you could also say there when he was closing me at the end is, we wouldn't be having this conversation if you'd have listed your home with me the last time around.
Yep.
Because my listings sell.
So there's an objection handler that when they give you that objection, that, as Gene said, obviously we wouldn't be having this conversation if you had chosen me up front. The good news is I'm here now, and then you go into a close.
And then they can come back with you and say, well, you didn't even show my home the last time around. Why should I list with you? I have 4 or 5 other people that showed my home.
Gene, that's a great question. And probably the reason I didn't show your home is I was working for the clients that entrusted their listings to me. Isn't that what you want? Like if I take your listing, you want to entrust it to me. You want me to work for you to get your home sold, correct?
Correct.
Perfect. Why don't we get together on Tuesday at 4, like you said, and I'll show you exactly what I did to get those other 100 people sold.
That'd be great.
Fair enough?
Yep.
Perfect.
You know, as it gets a little deeper, those are some of the questions that you get, and you have to have the ready answer. Not only do you need a good presentation, but you need the objection handlers to go with the presentation. Now you become the ultimate agent, because nothing can stop you. And guess what the most important thing out of it all is? You on this call gain the confidence that you need to not squirm when somebody puts you on the hot seat. That's what these sessions are all going to be about. And if you really take it to heart and talk to your fellow people and bring them along, bring the other agents that we have along. This is good stuff, you know, and it's for everyone, because you can use it on the internet as well as on the telephone. You just need to tease them, and you need to give them the questions that provoke their mind to give you an answer that you wouldn't get if you didn't ask the question.
So years ago, when I first started in this business, my dad and I worked for Realty World. That was in the 80s. And they had a program where it was called Tell 20. And Tell 20 was, if you get a listing or a sale, you tell 20 people around the neighborhood about your sale. So then when we joined the Mike Ferry organization in 1999, he had just listed and just sold scripts that you could use to tell 20 people. Maybe you want to tell 50 people. It depends. Whatever you want to do, you choose. Again, that's what today's call is about. You choose what you want to do. So the just sold script, because obviously listings are the name of the game in this industry right now, is that if you listed somebody's house and it's sold, now you want to call around the neighborhood and tell those tell 20. And this is the just sold script. Hi, is this Gene?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Gene. My name is Tim Costello with Remax First Advantage, and we just recently sold a home in your area over on Primrose Lane. Gene, it had 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, and it was priced at $450,000. And we know that when someone sells a home, usually 2 more go up for sale right away. So I was curious, when do you plan on selling?
Oh, I don't.
You don't plan on selling?
Nope.
Okay,
No,
good.
no.
So how long have you lived at this address?
About 15 years now.
Wow, you've been there 15 years.
Right.
Huh. Where did you move from?
I moved from Oklahoma.
You moved from Oklahoma to Harrisburg.
Mhm.
Fantastic. And if you were to move, Gene, where would you go next?
Oh, I'd probably go back there because I still have family there.
So you would go back to Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, because your family's there.
Mhm.
What kind of family do you have?
I have about 2 daughters and 1 son.
2 daughters and 1 son. Any grandchildren?
Lots of them.
Lots of them. And they all live in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Gene, what are you doing in Harrisburg then?
That's what I'm thinking.
Huh. Great. So if you were to move and you decided to go back to Oklahoma, when would that be?
You know, maybe in 2 months from now, I'm going to get the ball rolling.
Okay, in about 2 months. Well, obviously, you realize in this market, which is pretty good for listings to sell right now, it takes probably less than 1 month to get a home on the market and get it sold, and then probably another month for it to go to settlement. So that would be 2 months, correct?
Correct.
So my question is, do you need to be sold in 1 month to get to Oklahoma, or would you want to start the process at that time?
I want to be sold, you know, in a month.
Want to be sold a month
Yeah.
and be in Oklahoma
Right.
within 60 days. Fantastic. Well, fortunately, to get you 1 step closer to Oklahoma, all we need to do now is simply set an appointment. So I can help you get what you want in the time that you want. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be.
Perfect. How about Monday or Tuesday at 4? We'll set up a time. I'll come over, take a quick look at your house and tell you what it's worth.
Great.
Great. We'll see you Monday at 4.
And you don't ring the bell every time, but it does happen. It really does happen. Again, it's a game of numbers. If you make enough calls and you talk to enough people, you can also do mailings. You know, a lot of people say, well, it's not me to talk on the telephone. It better be you to have a conversation somehow or other, or it's the wrong fit for the business, quite honestly. You must talk to the people?
So my dad, back in the, I guess it was early 2000s, did just sold calls in Highland Park. And one of the just sold calls was he met a little old lady that he talked to, and she was very nice. So in my emails that I send to you, I always talk about adding somebody to the database each day. He added her to his database and his top producer database, and he called her 4 times a year.
Yep.
Called her 4 times a year, and over years, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years, established a relationship with this lady. And in between then, we would send 4 postcards a year to this lady. So she was getting 8 touches a year. Well, you know, when she passed away, guess who got the listing? Her family knew that we were talking to her, had our postcard on the refrigerator, and we got the listing when she passed away. But it was all because my father made that just sold call about Highland Park to that lady's neighborhood, became friends with her and added her to the database.
And you all do this, do the same thing. We just need to do more and make more effort in this market.
Yep. So the last script that we're going to do today is a real simple one. And this one is for those who choose to work with buyers. And, you know, a lot of agents in our company have lists and lists of people in their computer that they've accumulated through internet marketing, whether they were Zoom calls, Realtor.com calls, Boomtown calls, or wherever they got these leads from. And I don't care if these leads are 1 month old or 1 year old or 2 years old, because there was a lot of people over the last year that weren't able to buy houses. And that's a simple call. And it goes like this. Ring, ring, is this Gene?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Gene, it's Tim Costello with Remax. I noticed a while back you had inquired about a house on the internet. Are you still in the market to purchase one?
Yeah, I am, but you know, the agent that called me on that just sort of faded away. Never got
Right.
back in touch.
Exactly. Well, we noticed that you were looking on the internet and you said you still are in the market to buy a house.
Yeah,
What would be a time that maybe we could get together and do what I call a little mini session where I bring into the office? Gene, there's no obligation to it, doesn't cost you anything, but we sit down and we talk about it because interest rates have changed a little bit. And I'd like to spend 15 to 20 minutes with you and show you what a payment would be like if you were to buy a home. Would you be interested in something like that?
well, you know, what about the house?
Well, that house probably that you had inquired about is not available
No,
anymore.
I don't mean that, but I mean, am I gonna see houses? What am I gonna do?
Well, what we'd like to do is bring you into the office for a mini session. We go over the consumer notice, the buyer agency contract, and maybe introduce you to a lender to get you pre-approved. Once we know exactly what price range you're shopping in, we'll start looking on the internet to see what homes are available and set
okay.
you up with some searches. And then we can go out and purchase one. Does that sound like a good system?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I didn't know how you were gonna do it. Now
Okay.
that makes sense.
Perfect. How about Monday or Tuesday at 4? What would be better for you?
How about 4?
4 on Tuesday?
Yep.
Okay, great. We'll see you then. So that would be like an internet inquiry. Just going back to them, simply asking them, we noticed that you were looking a while back and we were wondering, are you still in the market to buy a house? And so today we did the for sale by owner, the expired, the just sold, and a internet call. Anybody have any questions about what we did? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Okay, no, Brooks, why don't you wind it up and
Well,
call?
I would like to say one thing here. Everything that we did today is called pacing and leading. It's designed to come to an outcome that you want. You may again say, it's not me, but if you follow the system, put your personality into it, just like Tim did, you'll come out a winner every time because it's scripted to get you where you need to be. And that's what the design of the whole program is about, and our whole system is about. I don't care whether you call it Mike Berry, Brian Buffini, whomever it is, everything is relegated back to the originator, which was Napoleon Hill. And he's the father of putting this together into a concise sales system that always becomes successful.
And then on future calls, we'll go the next step that, for instance, now that we have an appointment for sale by owner or an expired, we're going to do the pre-qualifying session. And then after we do the pre-qualifying session on another call, we'll do the listing appointment. And we'll show you what the 1 minute, or the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the 20-minute presentations are, so that you can get a feel of how you can handle yourself on a listing presentation to keep you on track to ask the closing questions to get the listing. So with that being said, Kong, did you want to talk briefly about what your call is going to be about today?
Yeah, I just am going to go over real quick how to write better descriptions for your listings, how to write better letters and emails. So using a new computer generated program that's actually free for now. And it's what I've been using for the past week now. And it just has made my life a lot easier. I'm thinking less and sounding a lot smarter.
Okay, good. Brooksy, anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think this was an awesome call, and we're gonna start doing our role play sessions here at the office. We picked Monday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. So we want to offer this to everybody in our company so that you guys can either come to the office. We're working out a Zoom idea too, how to incorporate people who can't make it to the office, but this gives everybody the opportunity to practice these conversation pieces and become as masterful as you two. So, we're gonna again do that Monday and Wednesdays at 9 a.m. So if you have questions, reach out to us and get involved.
Brooks, when's the first dialing for dollars night going to take place?
We will do that next Tuesday.
It might be fun when we do that also to maybe do it during the daytime someday.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Right. So they don't always have to be at night. We could do them during the daytime too. And we'll have to pick a date for that one. So next Tuesday is when you're going to do it?
Yeah, we'll do one next Tuesday.
I'm sorry, I won't be there.
You can attend the next one.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everybody being on the call today. Hopefully it helped. Bobby, you got a question?
Yeah, if I can, if the basic meeting is over, I'd like to switch gears, and it's not a pleasant subject, but everybody is aware of scammers today. And this happened to a friend of my wife's in the Illinois area outside of Chicago. True story. The mother worked early during the day. Daughter was still in bed at home, and her phone rang. The daughter's phone rang, and she recognized her mother's number. And she just rolled over and said, "I'll catch her later." Well, it rang again a few seconds later, and she said, "Oh my God, maybe something's wrong." She picked up the phone, and there was a guy on the phone, and he said in a very demanding, strong voice, "I've got your mother, and I'm going to shoot your mother, and I'm going to kill myself if you don't send me $900 right away." And she panicked, and in the meantime, the scammer had a accomplice in the background, another woman, and this woman started screaming, and the daughter panicked again. to help. Hey, how did this happen? And the scammers have ways of getting phone numbers from media, from social media, people's names and so forth. He knew the daughter's name. And as he was telling her, you have to send this money right away, or I'm going to call the cops and I'm going to shoot her and I'm going to shoot myself. And in the background, the daughter heard this woman screaming, and this guy turned around and said, "Shut up, bitch." And this is actually true. This actually happened. And the daughter did send the money, but he had her break it down into $450 segments. And maybe there's a reason for that, I'm not sure. But nevertheless, found out that he in fact was a scammer, and he knew all of the hot buttons for the daughter, and scared her to death. And it just goes to show you how much information these scammers have on people, and what they can do to elicit money and extract money from people.
Yep.
True story, absolutely. To a good friend of my wife's, Millie.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, we
just
gotta
be careful.
We got to be careful of that. I know a lot of you received a scammer recently for people wanting debit cards or credit cards for my dad. And, you know, obviously that stuff's fake, but thank you for that. Brooks, thank you for generating the call and getting
Right.
everybody on. We'll send this out. Hopefully some more people listen to it and watch it. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll look forward to next week.